So I've heard mixed reviews on this new Wild Turkey's Master's Keep. Well, I finally got my hands on one, so I want to see, was it worth the wait and the hunt? Let's go. So this Master's Keep Voyage is a 10-year-old bourbon finished with a secondary maturation period in Jamaican rum cask. That marks the first time in Wild Turkey's history that they actually finish in rum cask. Now, this was crafted by master distiller Eddie Russell in partnership with Dr. Joy Spence. He's the renowned master blender of Appleton Estate rum. Voyage reflects over 80 combined years of experience in crafting exceptional spirits. The aim of this Master's Keep Voyage was to create a unique spirit that captured the hallmarks of both bourbon and rum. Dr. Joy Spence hand-selected some of the finest casks from his iconic Jamaican rum house. Casks which previously held 14-year-old pot still rum and would best complement the bold top notes and rich caramel undertones of Wild Turkey extra-aged bourbons. Eddie Russell then hand-selected a batch of 10-year-old bourbon which had been aged in Wild Turkey's classic No. 4 char barrels. Now, as you know, I am super close to 1,000 subs, and when I get there, I will be doing a giveaway. If you haven't heard, I'll be giving away E.H. Taylor. I will be giving away a small batch, a straight rye, and also a single barrel. Yes, one lucky winner is gonna win all 3 of these. We're gonna get into the bottle details, but let me open this up and pour it out so that it can actually start breathing. Ooh, beautiful cork pop. How do you not love that sound? Bottle details. This is a distiller by Wild Turkey and it's finished in rum barrels from Appleton Estate. The mash bill is not stated. However, this is a 10-year bourbon finished in Appleton Estate ex-rum cask for 5 weeks. It was released in 2023. It's at 106 proof. Its MSRP is $275 and it comes in this beautiful box with this beautiful bottle with that Wild Turkey on the glass. Look at that. So as usual, we'll be using my standard scoring review system of scoring between 1 and 10 on aroma, flavors, complexity, mouthfeel, finish, and of course, would I buy again? Who knows? Let's go ahead and look at this glass. Look how nice and dark that is. It's more of a caramel kind of color. I'm gonna spin it around and see how well it sticks to the glass. I can see the rim, but I don't see the legs going yet. So it's actually pretty. There you go. So now you see the legs running a little bit. I don't know if you can see that on there. You can see a little bit of those legs run there.
Let's have a look at those legs, shall we?
As we said, it is 10 years old and aged in rum cask. So let's go in for the aroma. Let's smell this. Let's see what it smells like. I'm gonna give it a little SJ like Matt likes to do in ADHD bourbon. This is a very different nose. Oh yeah, they really get in there to, okay, this is very, very different than your usual. You're not getting that upfront caramel and oak that you normally would get with a 10-year-old bourbon. It's more of a kind of a tropical mix. There is a little bit like of that dark molasses in there, but that's not very forward. It's more fruity, kind of like a fruit cake with a bunch of fruit.
Fruit cake?
With a little bit hints of citrus kind of smell there. Yeah, it's hard to describe it. I mean, I'm not a big rum drinker, so I'm not sure how rum normally smells, but I think it's coming across as more of a rum than a bourbon on the nose. However, I've heard of people say that it has kind of a funky smell, and now that my nose is adapted, I know I smell that too. It's like a very, very faint pickle. I don't know if anybody's reviewed that and said that it smells like a pickle, but yeah, definitely like a hint, like if I had pickle juice in this glass, rinsed it out and didn't really wash it. So that's kind of what I smell with that. So on the aroma for a bourbon, not great. For a rum, I'm not too sure, but for the aroma, I'm gonna give that about a 6. Let's go in for the initial taste. So let's go in for that flavor. Oop, spilled a little bit. Wow, very drying of the mouth. It really dried my tongue very quickly. And yeah, it kind of tastes a little chewy. Get a little bit of like caramel, a little bit of dried fruit. Not much else there. It's weird how it dried the tip of my tongue and a little bit of the mid tongue very, very quickly, and kind of got the taste went away too quickly for me to actually even do that. I'm a little bit surprised by that. So initial taste, I didn't get a lot off of it. It was hard to do. It dried my tongue. And then really quickly went away. So for initial flavors, I'm actually gonna give that about a 5. Let's go in for the second taste and check out the complexity. How does it evolve on the tongue, okay? So that second taste was a little bit better than the first. It's a little bit hot, a little bit spicy. Some of that citrusy kind of and fruity flavors do come through. So you taste that in the front, on the tip, kind of like a citrus, kind of like a pineapple sort of thing. You do get a little bit of very mild banana bread kind of taste in the mid palate, but it's super mild. I mean, most of the taste on this is on the tip of the tongue, very little on the mid, and then not really much in the back. So for complexity, I'm gonna give that about a 6. Now, let's go for mouthfeel, and that's the thickness and the viscosity over the tongue. It does stick well to the glass, and from the first two, it's actually sticking pretty well to my tongue, but let's go in for that. Every time I taste it, it's a little bit better than before. I'm now starting to get some of that oakiness. It's not drying out my tongue as quickly, and it is actually sticking to the front and kind of a little bit on the mid, but when it goes to the back, I don't get it. I do get a little bit of a Kentucky hug. It's not, it's not very high proof, so I won't expect that to be very strong there, but it's still on my tongue. It's still there, a little bit on my cheeks. So for mouthfeel, that's actually probably, I would say that's very good. So I'm gonna give that a 7. We're gonna go on for the finish. How does it stay and how long does it stay on that tongue, right? So let's go on for that. Because it has a good viscosity, it does stay pretty long. Throughout the whole thing, the first taste kind of went away really quickly. The other ones have stayed there a lot longer. You do taste a spice, a little bit, a hint of like vanilla, but it's really more of a citrus, and fruity kind of flavor, but not very sweet sugar, I should say. It's more of that citrus, and as I said, it still dries the front of my tongue. I mean, I can taste things better, but it really does dry the front of the tongue. Now, one thing I hadn't really said in the beginning, on the previous one, is I did notice the oakiness, but it's a little bit also spicy, so a little bit of like a pepper on it.
No, pepper, wait.
And that's kind of right between the front and the mid palate that I'm tasting that. The finish is still there as I'm talking through this. I'm still tasting, I still have that finish. It's still there. Now that I've done a few sips on this, I can still taste the finish, taste in the front, taste in the mid, nothing in the back, but I do have that little Kentucky hug. So for the finish, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. You're probably wondering why 7.5 and not done that before. It's because it's better than a 7, but not quite an 8. So I'm just split it in half there. Time to tackle the elephant in the room.
Okay, elephant in the room. Let's talk about it.
Is this Master's Keep Voyage worth $275? So Master's Keep last year was around $200 and it jumped up in price. And this is MSRP we're talking about, not secondary prices. It jumped up to $275. A lot of people out there are saying that there was no need for an increase in price. If they're gonna do that, they should have had a better product. Now there's other people out there that really do enjoy it. I think it's more people who are like rum drinkers.
I prefer rum.
Or enjoy rum and enjoy bourbon that enjoy this a little bit more. Me, on the other hand, I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I got to taste this for myself. I'm glad I got to review this, and I'm glad I'm gonna be able to share this. But would I buy this again at MSRP for $275? For me, that's a no. I'm very disappointed because I really do like Master's Keep. I was really hoping that people were just being very particular out there about it, but it does fall short. For something with that premium of a price, you should get more in the initial taste. You should get more in the mouthfeel. You should get more flavors throughout. It should cover my whole tongue. The only thing that, was different and interesting was, it had a different aroma, but not kind of what I was expecting. And, it did last there. It was like the finish stayed for a long time. Now, was it a good finish? Depending. If you're a rum drinker, probably is a good finish. If you're a bourbon drinker, it was okay. So for the market that they were trying to hit, if I would buy this again, the score I'm going to give it is a 4.5. So after doing the calculations, my total score was 36 out of 60. I want to say that's actually my lowest score to date. A little disappointed because I was expecting a little bit more from this. So I know there's people out there that really enjoy it, and good for you. I'm glad you do. We all have different palates, and that's the great thing about this society. We get to all have our opinions on this, right? But I'm gonna let a few of you figure this out for yourself and try this. So now let's talk about how do we win a sample. So as usual, I'll be giving out 5 1-ounce samples, right? So that means 5 winners are gonna be winning 1-ounce samples. Why? Because sharing is caring. So what do you have to do? All you have to do to qualify is make sure you're subscribed, right? Hit that like button, please, because that really does help me. So please hit that like button, and also comment below on your favorite Master's Keep. What is the favorite Master's Keep you've tried? Not everybody's tried Master's Keep, I barely got to try my first Master's Keep last year. So if you have not had a Master's Keep and you have not been able to try one, so what's your favorite wild turkey? Any wild turkey out there? Of course, I'll be doing an old fashioned with this. Why? Just because I think this is gonna be a tough one on me. I need to figure out how to highlight the spirit, but at the same time improve a little bit on that taste. That's something that I will enjoy. I might have to do this 2 different ways. One, just to really highlight the spirit and, you know, for the people who do like the rum and all that, and do that. And then one to kind of add it so that it fits my palate, so it works for me. Friends, thank you again for joining me down another journey down this bourbon rabbit hole. Cheers, my friends, and until the next time.